much. Okay, so this was Nikki. Wow, she pulled it off. Whoa. All right, so I would like now to introduce our first speaker, our one and only Mike Thompson. I have a whole paragraph to read about you. Do you need it? A whole bio to read here for you. Do you need it, or do you just want to rock it? Go for it.
Well, thank you very, very much. Thank you to the organizers who this year again organized a fantastic Women's March in Napa. Thank you to all of you who came out. The first year you did this, it was fantastic. The second year was better. And this year is over the top. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to take a moment to just give a happy birthday shout out to our former superintendent of schools, our former mayor, Ed Henderson, who's right down here today with us. That was a good thank you, clap and cheer. But I just want to tell you one other thing. Last night, Ed Henderson became the newest Napa County Democrat. It's great to see you all here today. Congratulations for yet another fantastic event. And you just give all of us in our district and across the nation incredible hope. And it reminds me of what Margaret Thatcher said. If you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman. And it tells me something else when this kind of crowd comes out in an overcast day like this, give up your Saturday morning. It tells me that for the past 2 years, all the work you've been doing, the other 2 marches, you didn't come just for the hat. You're here because you know our nation depends on strong activists. You're here because you know that being involved makes a difference. And you're here because you want to see change for the good. This president has divided our nation like never before. But clearly, he's also united a lot of women and a lot of enlightened men. So, the marches across the country last year were in large part responsible for us flipping the House. We flipped the House from Republican to Democrat. We flipped 40 seats in the U.S. House of Representatives. We won the majority. And make no mistake, Napa Valley, the Napa Women's March, and women across the country were in large part responsible for that. You made this happen. Earlier this month, on the 100th anniversary of women having the right to vote, we watched over 100 women sworn in to serve in the U.S. House of Representatives. Women from all walks of life, women from the West, from the East, from the North, and from the South. Women with a common goal to serve our nation and to make it better. And each day since that swearing in that I've been in Washington, I've looked out across the faces of my colleagues in that great House. And you know what? It reflects the great diversity of our incredible country. So thank you very, very much. And as they used to say, we all saw the commercials, we've come a long way, baby. But more important, we're not done. We've already seen the impact that you've had on bringing things about to change. You have seen on day one when Congress convened, that we introduced the For the People Act, H.R. 1, a statement of the new values of the new Congress. This bill will work to reduce the big influence of big money in politics. This bill will bring about fair elections by strengthening the Voting Rights Act. And this bill will restore ethics and integrity in Washington, D.C. And this bill will be passed. Last week, I introduced my bill, H.R. 8, to help reduce gun violence. Already we have over 220 bipartisan co-authors. That's after just a couple of weeks. So after 6 years of the Republican majority not allowing us to have a hearing on gun violence prevention bills, after 6 years of the Republican majority not allowing us a vote on gun violence prevention bills, we will pass this bill in the first 100 days of this Congress. These are just a couple of examples of what's happening in your new Congress. And make no mistake, this is a new day, and we're just getting started. We'll pass legislation that the American people want. Our new majority will pass solutions to fixing our crumbling infrastructure, investing in our roads and our bridges and our ports. We will address climate change. Speaker Pelosi doesn't that sound great? Speaker Pelosi has established a select committee on climate change to specifically address this critical issue. And as the chairman of the subcommittee on the Ways and Means Committee that writes the tax laws, I will continue to work to provide tax incentives that lessen the impact of all of the nasty climate stuff on our environment and our globe, and work to increase our efforts to expand renewable energies. And this is because Democrats believe in science. And we agree with the scientific experts around the globe who tell us that climate change is very real and it's a growing threat. So we must act now, or else nothing else we do is going to matter, because we won't have a world to pass on to future generations. And finally, Democrats are working to make sure we open our government. This Trump shutdown is hurting America. This Trump shutdown is hurting families. This Trump shutdown is hurting businesses. This Trump shutdown is hurting our economy. People are out of work or they're working without pay. Families could lose their homes. The Coast Guard, which, by the way, is one of the most important partners in fighting drug trafficking, they broke all records last year in the amount of cocaine that they've seized. They're working without pay. And this is right after the Commandant of the Coast Guard told us that they can only stop 20 to 30% of the cocaine coming in because they don't have the resources to do more work that they could be done. These are the men and women in uniform working for us, keeping our country safe, and they're working without pay, and that's wrong. It doesn't make our nation safer, and it puts in perspective what someone a lot wiser than me said, and I saw it on one of these signs today: if you elect a clown, expect a circus. We're not going to be held hostage by a reality television narcissist. And let me take just a moment to set the record straight. this president is working overtime to try and falsify the real truth. Democrats support border security. We want to help our nation stay safe. Democrats just elected dozens of veterans to the new Congress, men and women who put on the uniform and put their life on the line for our country and for our nation's safety. We're working to increase drug detection technologies, invest in high-tech radar and surveillance system and aerial technology to secure remote areas. But we are not for a brick and mortar wall that's no more than 7th century solution for a 21st century problem. Walls can be scaled and walls can be tunneled underneath. Democrats are not for funding a stupid campaign promise that's built on shoddy policy and racist rhetoric. We'll continue to fight to keep our government open. Bills that were drafted with bipartisan support, bills that put our vulnerable government employees back to work, bills that keep us safe are the bills that we'll be passing, sending over to the Senate. Elected officials work for the people of the United States of America, not for cable news talking heads. Thank you for staying engaged. I could not be prouder than to look out over all of this crowd and say thank you for being here. Our district is a big part of the solution. Actually, our district is leading the way, and it's because of your continued engagement that makes all the difference. We cannot let up. Together, we'll fight this president's stupid policies and his divisive rhetoric. Together, we'll protect our historic gains in the House, and together, we'll retake the White House in 2020. Thank you all very, very much.